So, hello everyone, it's me, Joshua Drake, aka Future Filmmaker 3940 here once again, and I'm here with a special guest, Sean Cobb, aka Veritas 591. So, good. And we are here to talk about what I've been planning to do for a long time. Now, we originally did this back in 2016, but I wanted to host an updated one myself on my channel, and that is an epic fan discussion for the J.K. Rowling retrospective on the Harry Potter franchise. Now, if you know us, me and Sean, we both are big fans of the Harry Potter franchise, and we just like the franchise. So, Sean, why don't you start with your history of this franchise?
I'll be fine.
You can start with your history with the franchise. How did you become a fan?
Hang on.
Okay. And before we talk about each film, for those who, let's say there will be spoilers because there's no other way we're going to talk about this. But if you have read the books or seen the movies, you know what's going to happen. And also, we will be including Fantastic Beasts, and also giving our rankings and talk about what's next for the future Fantastic Beasts. So, you guys enjoy.
Spoilers. People died. People died. Secrets are discovered.
But anyway, yeah.
Well,
Let's talk.
The idea, anyways, that people do die and secrets are discovered.
All right. So let's start with our history. So since I have my special guest, we're going to let him go first.
I feel so special. Let's see. I've basically been a fan for years, pretty much since like around the time the first movie came out. My sister used to have the books. She got me into this franchise, and I basically cheated by watching the movies instead of reading the books. Although I did read the last two books, and then I saw the movies. I actually prefer the movies. Because I'm a visual person, I don't like reading that much. But yeah, I enjoy the movies. I think they're a lot of fun. I've seen at least Azkaban, Goblet of Fire, Order of Phoenix, I think Half-Blood Prince, and Death Hallows Part 1 in theaters, and then Fantastic Beasts in theaters. So at least 5 out of 9 movies in theaters, I think I've seen. I think I have that right. And I really enjoyed them all. I think they're a lot of fun. I'd probably say Fantastic Beasts is probably low on my list. I hope he comes back. I'd say Fantastic Beasts is low on my list, but overall, I enjoy this franchise. Yo, what happened, dude?
Great thoughts, Sean. Now, with me as a fan, I am. If you guys kept up with my channel, I am been a respect, a very amazing. I love this franchise to death. It's my childhood franchise to me, and just every time you watch a Harry Potter movie, I can't help but get excited. I read all the books. I did not see any of these movies in theaters, not even Fantastic Beasts.
Man, I would have at least seen the first 3 in theaters.
No, because I was too young. I was just a kid. I watched the first one in 2002 on cable. And that's what got me into the franchise. And
video went right to TV.
So yeah, basically, I love all these movies, and just it's one of those movies franchises that stick with you as time goes by. So
Mm-hmm.
my history with this franchise, and we are going to let's start with the first film in the franchise, Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone, or Philosopher's Stone, depending on where you live.
Yeah, I prefer Sorcerer Stone. But if I were to, I know this is not related to the discussion, but if I were to name like favorite childhood franchises, it'd be Toy Story, Harry Potter, Spy Kids, Aladdin. Those are to name a few of my childhood favorite movies. One of which
I
had,
only,
one of which
I
had,
only like
one of which had a
the
sequel 6 years ago, which I hate with every fiber of my fucking being. But that's another time, another discussion. Watch my reviews if you want to.
No, it's okay. We get off topic, and that's the thing. But anyways,
What sequel that is? Watch my reviews. You will find
and
the 2011 section.
and
Actually organize my
Sean,
video.
you can talk if you want to talk about Emma Watson. You can talk. We can talk about her because right now. But anyways,
Yeah, first movie directed by Chris Columbus. I had a lot of fun with this movie. I thought it was a lot of fun, great set designs. I've read the books maybe once. I don't remember them much. But yeah, set designs I thought were just amazing set designs. It looked like a place that doesn't really exist, which technically is not supposed to exist, I don't think, because humans aren't supposed to know about it. Yeah, I loved the characters. I love the set designs. I thought the first movie was awesome. Some people want to say it's a little dated because of the technology, but I just don't see that. I don't see that it's dated. I think it still holds up. I love the cast. Daniel Radcliffe, Emma Watson, Rupert Grint are perfect. Sadly, Emma's the only one that won't really went anywhere in career. The last one I saw Daniels was Horns, which it's a so-so movie. Because Emma's been doing Wallflower, Beauty and the Beast, Bling Ring, movies like that. So she's the one that's been going places. By the way, Perfume and Wallflower, fucking awesome. And so is Beauty and the Beast. The new one.
I watched it, the new Beauty and the Beast. But anyway,
Good.
basically the story of this movie is basically and he's a boy who learns on his 11th birthday. When you first see him at the beginning, this guy has it rough. I kid you not.
He's getting basically bullied around by his own family. They're basically treating him like a slave.
Pieces of crap. They just. But anyways, on his 11th birthday, he does meet Hagrid, and so Hagrid takes him. Yeah, played brilliantly by Robbie Coltrane, and takes him to the Game Royal Hogwarts and go get all of his wizard stuff. Then on the Hogwarts Express, he meets Ron and Hermione Granger, played brilliantly by Rupert Grint and the lovely Emma Watson. And seeing Emma Watson in this movie, it does remind you how hot she becomes as the movies go on in her. Yeah, I'm sorry, I have to bring that up. And then they get to the school, and the first year, some parts of the school are forbidden. And they meet Professor Dumbledore, played by the late Richard Harris, and
it sucks that he died after Chamber of Secrets.
And during this video, we will pay dedication to the actors who died during this. And also, we also meet Severus Snape, played greatly by Alan Rickman. May you rest in peace, sir. We won't forget you. Neither will you, Ollivander, because he also died too. And so they are trying to discover the truth about Harry's parents' deaths. And my thoughts on the first Harry Potter movie is
technically the story is not really them trying to figure out the mystery of Harry's parents' death. It's more of Voldemort trying to get a hold of the stone so that way he can live longer, and they're trying to find the stone and prevent Voldemort from getting it. That's pretty much what the story is. It has nothing to do with trying to find the secrets of Lily and Jamie.
Yeah. And yeah, my thoughts on this movie is that I love this movie. I've loved this movie ever since the first time I saw it as a kid, and every time I watch this movie as a kid, I just get excited. It's because I just have a lot of fun. People say that this movie is a little boring, and I do see that, but
I don't.
I don't see that. It's kind of, but I thought it was very perfectly fine that they were setting up everything, and basically that's what you have to do with the first film. You got to set the stuff up in order for it to like be real, to know your characters, to know what type of movie you're going to be watching. And for that, I think the movie did its job. I think it did its job well. I think it was just amazingly well done. Chris Columbus, who will go on to direct the second film and produce Prisoner of Azkaban and direct Percy Jackson, The Olympians, The Lightning Thief.
God, I wish I had mentioned.
Yes, I would wish they would did Titan's Curse too, but sadly,
and this extends this whole Harry Potter franchise. The one thing I have is kind of an issue with this whole series is that some of the things they change don't make sense with the other movies. But we'll get to that as we get further in the series.
Yeah,
I'll explain that later further in.
Yeah, just the cast in this movie is perfect. I love for child actors as playing these three main characters. I have to say, Rupert Grint, Daniel Radcliffe, Rupert Grint, Emma Watson, they put it off perfectly.
I think you're about to say Rupert Watson.
Huh?
It sounded like you were about to say Rupert Watson.
Yeah, and seeing them from a YouTube video where they're doing their screen test, I was like, wow, that they're impressed. They're even impressive from the screen test, and just the way Hogwarts looks is very accurate to the book. The effects, do they look dated? No. I will admit, though, the Cave Troll Fellowship of the Green does look a little dated. I'm sorry I have to throw it in there. But I do think that the way everything just looks is perfect. I think it looks very well faithful, visually striking, and the score by the great John Williams.
Love John Williams.
Never made a bad score. He always brings his A game, and I love the score for this film. It's just a really cool score, just great. So yeah, I will basically say that. And yes, is the movie a little long? Yes, but you know what? I still enjoy it, even with the extended edition.
I really wish they would do like a standalone release of that.
Yes.
Instead of having Ultimate Edition.
As well as standalone releases for either the other cut.
There's only 2 extended cuts, not for the first 2 movies, which kind of annoys.
But yeah, and just the cast is perfect. Robbie Coltrane really put it off as Hagrid. Alan Rickman. May he rest in peace. He freaking killed it as Severus Snape. People say they love him in Die Hard. I love him in Die Hard is a great movie. Don't get us wrong, but I will say that whenever you watch these movies, anyone from this franchise you will remember other movies because it's relevant. But I will say that it's just the cast is just great, just
Dude, I think we're
And
getting close.
and just ignore them. Just ignore the gross comments.
The evil trolls.
And
Proceed.
I will say that the one scene with them going into the one room with the big dogs, them screaming, a little dated, but that's a cool scene. And the sorting hat is funny.
Yeah, I read that
And
apparently the Sorting Hat was supposed to have a song, but they cut that out of the movie.
yeah, that's true. And the sorting hat, if I had the sorting hat, if I had to choose a house, I would pick Gryffindor.
Same.
And just the look, how it feels, the movie feels is visually striking. So yeah, overall, Sorcerer's Stone is a great movie. I do have two complaints, which I just mentioned, but that doesn't take away the grade that I will give it, which is an A+. So yeah. So what is your overall thoughts overall and your rating, Sean?
Okay. Saw this movie as a kid. Never saw it in theater. Saw it. I think I saw it on like HBO or something when I was a kid. Yes, we somehow got that channel when I was young. Even though hey, no mind. Personal interest on your business. Yeah, I watched it on TV. Thought it was an awesome movie. I got it on DVD much later. I mean, I had it on video for a while. Then I got it on DVD much later. I like the performances. I think everyone's well casted. I enjoy the visuals. Hogwarts looks fucking awesome, literally magically and fantastical and whatnot. For what you know, I mean, it looks great. Um, some people said that the kids are bad actors, which yeah, I don't think so.
Oh crap!
Well, some people say that child actors aren't that good, but it depends on the child, really, in my opinion. I think it depends on the child and at what point that the movie they're being in comes out, whether it's early in their career or much later in their career. I think it all depends. I loved all the characters in the movie. I thought they were all really cast well. Like I said, I think Emma's the only one that really has gone places that I know of. Let's see. I feel bad that Richard Harris passed away after Chamber of Secrets, but we'll get to that movie later in a second. I feel really bad that he passed away after that, after the second movie, and they had to recast. I love the story of this movie. I love the characters. I love the visuals. John Williams, I haven't seen a movie that he scored that he sucks at. I mean, the music for episode 7 wasn't top notch, but granted, Williams was sick at the time, so he couldn't give it his all like he was. Like he was sick during episode 7, so I guess, but you can't really use that really as much of an excuse. But yeah, I haven't seen a movie directed by or made scored by John Williams that I hated. I really haven't. Because he's done Superman, he's done the first I think 3 Harry Potter movies. He's done,
There's 3 Harry Potter movies.
yeah, he's done all the Star Wars movies. He did the first Superman movie and then the Donner cut because they reused music from the first movie. And I love John Williams' score.
A score for yeah.
What is a bad movie? John Williams is still the best thing in that movie, even if the movie's complete shit.
Yeah.
So yeah, the visuals are great, score is great, acting's great, story I think is great. If I were to grade this, I'd say A-, I think, which is still good.
Okay, nice. So now we get on to Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets, which was released in 2002, the year you had Spider-Man, Attack of the Clones.
I think it's funny for a movie released a year later, Daniel Radcliffe looks like 3 years older. Like he had movies. Granted, they probably filmed the first movie like 99, but that makes sense then, but who knows? Like, he looks a lot older than a year. I'll say that.
Yeah. Yeah. Chamber of Secrets, like I said, came out in 2002. The year you have Spider-Man, the good Spider-Man movie.
You have Spider-Man, Two Towers, Attack of Clones, Born Identity, Island of Lost Dreams. The list goes on.
Yeah. And this is once again directed by Chris Columbus, based on the novel same name, written by Steve Close. And
who for some reason didn't write Order of Phoenix. I don't know why. But that's the only one he didn't write.
But anyways,
which is weird.
Sean will give us the plot of Chamber of Secrets.
So Chamber of Secrets picks up a year after the first movie, where we start hearing a little bit of the school's backstory about us, and the reason why they're the four houses named who they are, because the four founders of Hogwarts basically founded the school for people who wanted to learn how to do magic, but there was one person named Salazar Slytherin who's like, people who are Muggle-born should not be allowed to use magic. I will make chamber for this creature called a basilisk who will hunt down and kill these Muggle-borns because I think they don't deserve to learn magic. So that's pretty much, and then also, so years later, after Sorcerer Stone, the kids go back to their second year where this creature's been released by the heir of Slytherin, who we find out is Voldemort, or at least his younger version, a younger form named Tom Riddle. And so he released the back to fulfill Salazar Slytherin's noble work, as he says, to basically destroy all Muggleborns. And so, and since Hermione's a Muggleborn, she gets caught up in this, so she gets petrified. And then we have this little character named Dobby, who I kind of wish was throughout the series more because, again, I'll get you go down and listen to the movies. Who tries to warn Harry about all this mischief going back going out of school. And then we also have this teacher named Gilderoy Lockhart, who we find out has basically just been mind wiping people in order to get rich off because he's a dumbhead, basically. And so Harry and Ron, basically with the help with Hermione, have to basically find out what the secret of the chamber is and basically defeat Tom Riddle, as Voldemort's real name is. That's a long sum up of the plot, basically.
Yeah. Now, my thoughts on Chamber of Secrets. It is an improvement over Sorcerer's Stone.
And it goes on, and it kind of takes a darker tone if you think about it.
Yeah, it takes a darker tone. And just easily it is an improvement, but it does carry one little issue.
It's overly long.
Yes, but I don't mind it. I don't mind it being the runtime it is, 2 hours and 41 minutes.
Here's the irony, though. I just realized this. You have Order of Phoenix, which is the longest book, but yet Chamber of Secrets is the longest movie. You know, you'd think Order of Phoenix would be the longest movie. Oh, the irony.
SpongeBob reference. But anyway, yeah, Chamber of Secrets, yeah, I love it. Just it was great. And it does take place after the first movie, so the three main characters' voices when they're talking has to change a little bit.
Well, like I said, the first movie was probably filmed in 99.
The first film was filmed in 99.
I think it was. I'm not sure. Because like I said, right? Apparently had a gross.
Yeah, and this movie just is really awesome. I love it. Great. It's a sequel. It's a good sequel. Just the acting in this movie is good once again from our three main characters. All the acting from everyone else is really good. John Cleese, Maggie Smith, once again Alan Rickman, and we get introduced to probably the most douchebag character out of them all. Who am I talking about? Lucius Malfoy. He is worse than Draco. And Draco in the Sorcerer's Stone was bad, but doggone it, his dad is more.
We get to see where Malfoy gets his douchiness from. He gets it from his father.
Yes, he. But I do love the character of Dobby. I do wish he was in these movies more,
Yes.
which I don't know why they didn't put him in these movies more. But I still really did think that Dobby was really good. He was really amazing. I love the CGI on him. It's for a movie that came out in 2002.
Mm-hmm.
Also, the John Williams score is just once again amazing.
So good.
The production design, Hogwarts looks even better. And just when you get to the good stuff happening, it's really good. And Hermione the cat, that scene when her face is like a cat, that cracks me up also. But that was a cool part. Sure, they do change some stuff from source material, but when but as I said once before, it's not easy taking a well-known book or property and making it into a suitable film and being faithfully accurate to it. But if you play your cards right, you get there.
Imagine had they done the book page per page. You know how long that movie would be? Probably 3 or 4 hours. That would probably be a 3 or 4 hour movie had they done the book page for page. So they had to cut.
And I have to cut some stuff out. But still, and the budget was more bigger, so the effects look even better. And sadly, this was the last movie for Mr. Richard Harris.
Yeah.
May you rest in peace, there. And the aunt and uncle in this movie are just even more douchebaggery. Rest in peace to Richard Griffins, to Vernon, because he also died in 2011 or 2012, I remember. He died. And so, yeah, overall, Sorcerer's Stone, really good movie. Is an improvement. Does have an issue, but I can get over it. And I'm going to give this Sorcerer's Stone, which is an A+. So, Sean, your overall thoughts?
If you were talking about Richard Griffiths, he died in 2013.
Yeah, Richard Griffiths. Yeah, that's who I'm talking about.
Well, he died in 2013 because he appeared on Stranger Tides, and on Stranger Tides, which was in 2011. So had he died then, that would have been his probably last movie.
Oh yeah, 2013. Don't forget to review those movies. But anyway.
Thank you. So yeah, Chamber of Secrets. This movie goes in a darker tone because these kids are getting older. You gotta develop them. So I thought, well, hey, let's do a darker tone movie. I don't know. But yeah, this one is a little better than Sorcerer's Stone, but probably not by much. I think they're both good on their own. Like I said before, Daniel Radcliffe apparently had a growth spurt within a year, and voice dropped a lot. But yeah, the actors are still good. I still like the visuals. John Williams kicks ass, as he always does. I like Dobby. I wish he was in the franchise more because it would have made his death and definitely more emotional. I like the CGI on Dobby, the way they, I think it's motion capture probably. I don't know.
I don't know. It's probably all CGI.
I don't know, man. But yeah, I liked Dobby in this movie. Like I said, I wish he was in the franchise more because it would have made his death in Death of the Hallows Part 1 more emotional. Um, although I think it's kind of funny though, at the end of this movie when Harry says, "Never try to save my life again," yet in Death of the Hallows Part 1, he kind of breaks that promise. But we'll get to that movie later. Yeah, I just really like this movie. I kind of felt bad when they said that Ginny Weasley had been taken into the Chamber of Secrets. That was kind of sad. That was really sad. The fact that Ron might lose his only sister. Yeah, I just really enjoyed this movie. I thought it was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
I mean, is it a little long? Probably, but it's still a fun movie.
And now we get to the one that proves that a third film in the franchise is not always the weakest. And
actually, most people consider Prisoner of Azkaban the best. That's what I've heard.
And I even call it the best. And this is my favorite one out of this entire franchise. Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban, released in 2004.
Mm-hmm.
2004, you had a lot of movies. You had Unfortunate Events, Ray Charles movie, Spider-Man 2, The Bourne Supremacy, just the list goes on. So let's talk about this.
Man, 2, Bourne Supremacy, Unfortunate Events. I think Shrek 2 is in that list.
Oh, I forgot that movie.
Yeah, a lot of 2004 movies there. Oh, and also got the Daredevil Dark that year. By the way, Daredevil's fucking kick-ass movie. Don't anyone say a bad word about that movie.
Yeah, that movie kicks so much ass. Even The Punisher came out 2004.
2004, and I love that movie. Although Warzone can go fuck itself.
Yeah, Warzone needs a star ass.
But yeah, Azkaban. We got new players in this movie. Gary Oldman, Emma Thompson. I think those are the only 2 new players that I know of. Oh, we got Timothy Spall, David Thewlis, who will be playing Ares in Wonder Woman, which I'm actually surprised that he's going to do that. But yeah, basically the plot is Harry's in his 3rd year. He's starting to learn about this person in black who's not only the only prisoner to ever escape Azkaban. And so he's basically learning about Sirius. He eventually finds out that Sirius is his godfather, and he thinks that Sirius is trying to kill him. But we actually find that he's trying to kill Ron's rat, who's really named as Peter Pettigrew, because Pettigrew was the one who sold James and Lily to Voldemort, which led to Voldemort finding them in Godric Hollow, etc., etc., etc. Lots of stuff happened, and yeah.
So yeah, Sean just gave us our basic plot for Prisoner of Azkaban. Now, like I said, this one is my favorite. I love this one. What if I have to praise anything first before I start praising is I have to say that I have to appreciate how this one becomes the darker one. This one is just it's really cool, and I just love that Alfonso Cuarón and his direction is just amazing. Hello, Theo. We're on Prisoner of Azkaban now, Theo. So, what are your thoughts on the first 2 before we continue on with Prisoner of Azkaban, Theo?
My thoughts on the 2?
Yeah, Sorcerer's Stone and your thoughts on Chamber of Secrets. What are your thoughts on
those? I really don't know. I think, like were you saying, like, what are my thoughts on like
on Sorcerer's Stone and the Chamber of Secrets? That's what I'm saying.
Okay. The Chamber of Secrets. I don't remember much of, but the stone, that one with the stone, that's my favorite one of all. I think it's really good. Yeah.
And your thoughts
I
on
think it's
Sorcerer's Stone?
yeah, I think it's pretty.
The first one.
The first one, I think like the first one of the series,
Yes.
or I think the first one, it's like all the actors, like Daniel Radcliffe, everybody, they're all young, right?
Yeah.
So I actually have the original little package. You know that little DVD package thing, the original. But anyway, but from what I think is from upcoming actors that they were was not bad because it gave them a kick and it got them popular. These actors, little actors, and I personally think that the beginning of the movie really set up a good tone for the series.
Oh.
But
So now we are talking about The Prisoner of Azkaban. And again, my thoughts, like I said, the direction by Alfonso Cuarón is just amazing. The cinematography looks beautiful. It's just, and it does kind of boggle my mind that none of these Harry Potter movies has gotten an Oscar until Fantastic Beasts.
same. I mean, like
Oscars are shit.
Not you.
Choose a movie that has no. Here's why I say the Oscars are shit. Because in 2008, instead of voting for a great movie like The Dark Knight, they choose a movie that has gang rape, prostitution, and other shit that I'm not gonna name. That's also being called a feel-good movie. I'm pretty sure you know where I'm going with this.
Yeah, I can see that.
It's Slumdog Millionaire, a good feel-good movie.
Yeah, I don't blame you.
2008.
But anyway,
Okay. Anyways, and what I like about this movie is that it shows that they're not the Harry, Ron, Hermione. They're not kids anymore. They're growing. They're maturing, and that's what I think a franchise should do. You should let your characters mature,
and evolve.
and it's important.
Exactly.
And also, I think John Williams, for the last time he composes a score for a Harry Potter movie, freaking great. He should get Oscar nomination for this score.
I agree with you on that one.
Motion picture arts and sciences. This is why most of the time you suck, even for not giving someone a motion capture award because you don't acknowledge it.
Yeah,
Honestly,
Circus is getting cheated on those.
Yeah.
I think that Harry Potter, I think they should have got an award. You're right, because Daniel Radcliffe or Emma Watson, like they needed an award because I think their performance, especially in part 1 and part 2, we haven't got that far yet, but I think their performance was really great there.
Yeah. And like Sean said, we have some new characters. Love Gary Oldman as Sirius Black. It does it makes it feel funny that the next year he will later go on to play Commissioner Gordon in Batman Begins.
He only makes that like one scene cameo.
Yeah, and
it's in the book for Out of Fire, and I know we're not there yet. But Sirius was actually supposed to appear in the common room, but I think they only did that fireplace cameo because Oldman was filming Batman Begins at the time.
Yeah.
And also, that's what I think.
And we have a new Dumbledore.
Yeah, it's because Richard Harris passed away, sadly.
Michael Gambon. I think he's a great successor to.
Yeah, I like how And I like how Gambit makes the role his own and doesn't try to copy what Harris did.
Yeah.
Bring the character down. I like how he basically took the character and made it his own.
Yeah, and there were rumors going around that Ian McKellen was being offered the role, but those were false because he said that he has played a character similar to this in the Lord of the Rings trilogy, and he turned it down. But I thought he was a great successor, and Professor Lupin, played by David Thewlis, who I'm very excited to see how he's going to look at Aris. Thank you for not spoiling Aris in any of the Wonder Woman trailers. I mean,
God, I hope Wonder Woman needs to make up for the shit that was Suicide Squad.
Yeah.
But anyways, I thought just the way this movie looks is really good. I love the locations. I love the effects. And they did use some underwater effects and stuff. There is some CGI, but my favorite part of this movie is when Harry stands up for himself and his parents. I'm like, yes, that's it.
Yeah.
And basically, you could tell that Harry, he's had enough of them the Dursleys treating him like he's not wanted. He's had enough. You gotta make that. And did you like that part, Sean? When he stands up for himself? When Harry stands up for himself against the Dursleys.
Oh yeah, I thought that was very awesome. He's like, "Fuck you! I don't like you anymore. Get away from me. You've been bossing me around for 13 years. Now I'm having my fucking revenge."
Yeah, and I do love the time machine thing.
I liked it. And I thought the scene where he blows up Marge was perfect because I remember in school times where after my mom passed away, they kept making those your mama jokes at me, and I just wanted to do that to them, just blow them up and just make them go away. So that scene was awesome to me because you have Marge insulting Harry's parents to his face.
Yeah.
And he just blows her up. I was like, fucking awesome.
And I do love the part when Ron is trying to do a spell and Snape, he has on a hat and he's basically like Scarecrow. It's like ridiculous. It does have the comedy, but this movie clearly shows that the series is going to get darker.
This movie is I see this movie as the transitional film from the lighthearted tone up to the darker tone. So I'd say this movie is kind of the transitional film.
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah.
And also, I do wish they kind of used the time machine thing a little more in this series. But
yeah, but here's the thing, though. Had they done it, there would have been no stakes in this franchise. And that's what I think. Yeah. And that's the downside of time travel. It removes any stakes a movie could have because you could just go back in time and fix it. And that's one of the reasons why we never use the time turner again, because if something went bad, they can just go back in time and fix it.
But yeah, just honestly, Prisoner of Azkaban is easily what a third installment should be. And it improves on the first two. It makes third film a lot more better.
Yeah, I think this is one of those third films that doesn't suck.
Yeah. So, Theo, what are your thoughts on Prisoner of Azkaban?
My thoughts are, first of all, with all the Harry Potters, I've seen them all, but it's like I haven't seen them for a long time. But from what I remember, my thoughts were like, is that the third one or is that the fourth one?
Prisoner of Azkaban is 3.
Azkaban, third film.
Okay. I think that, you know, Harry and everybody else, they're still growing and they're still learning, and there's some ups and downs, right? And my favorite part is I really like. I can't remember if there's any like new villains or anything. I wish I could remember more. But I do like Professor Snape, and he's good.
I think it's funny though how this is the only movie where Voldemort doesn't actually appear in any form.
Yeah.
This is the only movie where Voldemort doesn't appear in any form. That's funny. I mean, he's mentioned throughout, but he doesn't make an appearance.
Yeah.
All right. What?
Seen that rumor. I don't know if it's true or not, but it was on Facebook a couple of days ago of Harry Potter, where
Yes. Overall, Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban. So, Sean, was overall great.
I give this an A+. It's one of the best movies in this franchise. It's the transitional film between the lighthearted tone and the darker tone. I think the story is really interesting. The ending I thought was really cool. How they got to save both Sirius and Buckbeak. I thought was really cool. And I just overall enjoy this movie. And I actually saw this movie in the flesh.
I'm gonna give it a solid A.
Nice. So now we move on to where things really starts to get dark.
Oh yeah.
Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire, released in 2005. 2005 was also another big year for movies.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
The Return of Darth Vader was also that year. Yeah, you have Revenge of the Sith.
Yes, and the movie that should have been the end of Star Wars. But of course, we know Disney. Money.
Yeah.
Oh, freaking hell.
I am boo-hoo, sir.
But anyways, this was directed by Mike Newell.
And it's
Based on the novel The Same Name.
And the reason why these directors, and Josh, I don't interrupt, but the reason why they switched directors for this one was because Goblet of Fire was in pre-production when Prisoner of Azkaban was in post-production, and Alfonso Cuarón could not oversee two movies at once, so they had to switch directors.
Yeah.
Which I can understand that. That's why and I know a lot of people hate this franchise, but I'm bringing it up. When they did New Moon, the original director of the first Twilight movie couldn't direct the second one because the first movie was still in post-production, while New Moon was going into pre-production.
Yeah. To those who hate Twilight, I respect you, but it's one of my guilty pleasures. Whatever.
You enjoyed Twilight, don't you?
Yeah, they're my guilty pleasures.
Yeah.
But anyway, basically the plot of this movie is it follows Harry's fourth year of Hogwarts, and basically you have all these different schools coming for a Triwizard Tournament. Somehow his name gets put into the Goblet of Fire, and so he has to compete in 3 different tournaments. One of them is where you have to get a golden egg. The second one, you have to basically swim underwater,
And the third is a maze.
yes, which we will get to that third one. But
Okay.
also
Let's talk about one. Okay, I'm interrupting Josh, but let's talk about one giant inconsistency with this franchise: the fucking Apologies potion. Because listen, because in Chamber of Secrets and Deathly Hallows Part 1, they still keep their regular voices. But yet in this movie, spoilers, Barty Crouch Jr., when he imitates Moody, is able to have Moody's natural voice. Someone want to explain to me that bullshit inconsistency? That's
I don't know,
one.
man.
That's a nitpick I have with this entire franchise. They can't get one simple thing right.
But yeah, and also, like I said, we have some new characters.
Always.
We have
Moody.
have
We have Moody. We have Robert
Wormtail.
Pattinson, Cedric Diggory, who's apparently supposed to have been a prisoner of Azkaban, but for some reason got cut out.
You also
We got Joe Chang, who also got cut out.
he's in this movie.
Yeah, but she got cut out of Prisoner of Azkaban. Like, a lot of characters who are in this got cut out of Prisoner of Azkaban for some reason. Probably.
Yeah, honestly, with this point, we all like this movie. Now, originally, this was supposed to be in two movies.
Yes, but for some reason they self-contained it into one movie because I think a lot of the plot threads in the book basically don't matter to the overall story, which is probably why they trimmed it down.
Steve Close commented that they always thought it would be two, but they couldn't figure out a way to break it into two. And there are a lot of things from the book cut out in this movie. Now, one thing I will say is that this movie, I gotta say, before I talk about any of the tasks and stuff, this is the first film in this franchise, also with Revenge of the Sith, to get a PG-13 rating.
Mm-hmm.
When I saw that they were saw an ad for this movie back in 2005, I was like, a PG-13 rated Harry Potter movie? Oh my, stuff is gonna go down. Oh my gosh. And then when I saw the movie on DVD in 2006, I could not believe how dark this one was. There's a lot of dark moments, especially towards the end, which we will get to, but let's talk about the first maze. So I'm going to start with Sean. Let him talk about the maze, the maze. No, the three tournaments.
Okay, so the first task is they basically have to fight a dragon to obtain this golden egg. And Harry already has an idea of the dragons because Hagrid basically told him about the dragons because apparently Ron's brother Percy is a dragon person, and we find out after Sorcerer's Stone that's where Norbert went. No, it was his brother Charlie, not Percy. But yeah, his brother Charlie runs this, I guess, habitation or something for dragons. That's where Norbert went to, and so Charlie basically helped transfer these dragons to the school for the game. And so Hagrid basically showed Harry about told him about the dragons, and then Harry went to go tell Cedric about said dragons. And so basically, the first task is they have to fight these dragons to get the golden egg. However, they say you can't use a broom in the task, but yet when Harry calls for his broom, he's not disqualified. That makes no sense.
Yeah.
That literally makes no sense at all. Because he'd be breaking the rules if he uses a broomstick. I mean, if he's not able to walk in with the broomstick, that would have made more sense. But they said you can't use broomstick. That makes no sense. But anyway, he gets the egg, and then he, I guess, wins. I guess.
Oh yeah. I remember that. Is that the one where he's flying on top of an eagle and he gets the egg, and then he goes on top of the castle?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah. That was probably my favorite part throughout the movie.
I have heard some people say that the mazes are let down, but I thought this first maze was just really something. Impressive, creative, and they went out. They thought outside the box. And just that task is just wow. And when they were making this, and with this almost twice the length of this of Azkaban's book, the writer and producer producers, they have to cut certain scenes and concepts in order to make this movie available to be alright for a 2.5 hour runtime. And just that is pretty exhausting to do. And just you have to take a very large book like that and count. It's tough, really, but it always works out in the end. And this also sees a change in movie composers, as John Williams did not plan to do this because he was the War of the World. And basically, Patrick Doyle does a good job of score, and I love the story. The second task, I have to say, with them going underwater, that part of the movie is just goes underwater swimming. I do like that, and also in this movie you do get to see them maturing because they're going to the massacre, going to the mall, and I did like that. Yes, but I do love all the acting in this movie. Robert Pattinson, before he was ever Cullen, I think he's really great in this movie. Francis D. LaFleur is really good. You also got Victor Crumb. I really did love Clemence Posey as Lord Delacour. She was kind of cute. And we don't see her again until definitely Hallows Part 2, which we'll get to.
Well, technically, she's in the first part because the wedding scene.
Oh, yeah. And also, this was the first appearance of Ralph Fiennes as Voldemort.
Yeah, and as much as I like Lego Batman, that was a huge missed opportunity. But that's different. That's a different discussion.
Yes.
I wish they had Fiennes play Voldemort in that movie. That would have been awesome. I mean, I didn't think he was bad, but it would have been awesome to hear him play Voldemort one last time.
All you guys on my channel, you basically heard me praise Ralph Fiennes for Red Dragon, which he's really great in that movie, as well as Lego Batman. But him as Voldemort, he is so menacing as a villain.
Yes.
And when you first see him, his appearance is disturbing. He does have a nose, but they CGI his nose.
Because he's becoming more like lizard-like than human.
Yeah, and when he goes over to Harry and says that he can touch him now, when he puts his hand on Harry's scar and Harry is screaming, I was like, oh my god, this was the most serious, darkest moment out of this entire movie. Was that scene. And then when they have their first duel, Voldemort is just like using magic against him as he's trying to.
It's because Voldemort has no love in him. It's just hatred. That's all it is.
Yeah, he's just evil.
Fight, which we will talk about the third maze right now.
Oh, and I've actually done some digging. I don't mean to stop you, but I did some digging on why Voldemort hates mudbloods, because his parents, he was conceived out of a love potion because his mother was a witch and his father was a mortal. And when his father found out about it, about his mother using a love potion, he basically just outright abandoned them. And that's where Voldemort's hatred of humans comes from. Because his father, who was a mudblood, abandoned him due to the fact he was born out of a love potion.
Yeah. And the third maze is my favorite.
I wish they would have put that in the movie somewhere, but okay.
And when Cedric Diggory dies, I didn't see it coming because I didn't read the book at the time. But now that I've read the book, I knew. Just or this movie, his first movie before he did Twilight, walked past him for his A game. It just that first duel is real solid, and then after the maze, he goes back to Hogwarts, and you see his dad crying, screaming over his son. I was like, oh my gosh, this is sad. I'm like, but that moment when he's crying over his son's dead body, that is just. But I did love the locations, and it's hard picking a movie that I like from 2005 because I like all the movies from 2005, even Fantastic Four. But just this one may be my second favorite, and the budget is even more higher, but $150 million budget, and it showed. But yeah, overall, I have to say that Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire, not terrible fourth movie, unlike some. I say some because some fourth moments actually be good. Some actually be bad. But this is the fourth installment where I think they really did what they really knocked out of the park.
Yeah, this is one of those rare fourth installments that does not feel like a cash grab.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with you on that one.
Like X-Men Origins. Anyway. I give Goblin the Fire my seal of approval in an A+. So you can go, Sean.
Let's see. Where does one begin? I like this movie. Not as good as Prisoner of Azkaban. I think one of the problems with this movie, and I think you only would have this problem if you read the book, that because they cut so much out of this movie compared to the book, it kind of feels a bit. You could say it feels a bit rushed because they cut a lot of stuff out of the movie. I think. Apparently, I read that originally Dobby was supposed to give Harry the Gillyweed, not Neville, but because they cut him out for some reason, they had Neville do it. I think it's because they wanted to give Neville more of a character rather than just make him the guy goofus that he probably normally is, which I can understand. Wanted to make Neville a more integral character. I can understand that. But I just rather wish they'd put Dobby in here. Because, like I said earlier, would have made his death in part 1 more emotional. But since he's not in here, it falls flat. We'll get to that later. Apparently, also I read that apparently Hermione would make like kind of like a service for house elves, like where they give them when they make her, or she makes them clothes and like stuff or whatever. But that's also cut out. But anyway, the movie as is, I really like it. I think it's a lot of fun. I will say Emma Watson looked really beautiful in her Yule Ball dress. I thought she was good in that. Yeah. Yeah, I just really enjoyed this movie. I thought it was a lot of fun. I liked seeing Voldemort rise again. That was really cool. I didn't really care much for Barty Crouch Jr., but that's a nitpick, really. The Apologies Inconsistency, that's another nitpick. But I still enjoy the movie overall.
Yeah. Well,
what are your overall thoughts on Goblet of Fire?
Well, for me, like Sean said, in the beginning there were some things missing right from the book. Like I never read the book, so I wasn't quite sure. But it felt like a little flappy and a little flat. But overall, I think Honestly, I don't really have any complaints with any Harry Potter movies. I think it was probably the weakest one, in my opinion. But
Okay.
yeah.
So now we get to Harry Potter and the Order of the Phoenix, which is the only film not to be written by Steve Kloves.
Yeah,
Came
and
out.
this one, and I think you can tell this one had the most changed about it because it is the longest book. So I think this one had the most changed.
Yeah, this one came out in 2007. Same year as Rise of the Silver Surfer, Pirates of the Caribbean.
Ghost Rider, Spider-Man 3, At World's End, Born Ultimatum. The list goes on.
But anyway, anyone who gets on Spider-Man 3, expect your thoughts. But anyways, this is the first in the series to be directed by David Yates, who will later take over this franchise.
Mm-hmm.
And basically, how the heck am I going to describe this plot? The basic plot of this one is we're in Harry's 5th year of Hogwarts, and
They have a
not supposed to be
teacher.
magic, and he's forced to defend himself out against them while underage, and so the Order of the Phoenix, which is a secret organization founded by Dumbledore, informs the now is thing on Harry that the Minister of Magic is obviously the Lord Voldemort. No one wants to believe him.
Okay. Okay, Josh, let me sum up this. Okay, after Goblet of Fire, the Ministry is basically in a panic because they want to disprove that Voldemort has returned because they're complete fucking idiots. And so Harry's in his 5th year. They have a fucking bitch for a teacher. I hate her. I want her to see her die. But sadly, she was allowed to live. So basically, because the bitch teacher won't teach them like she's supposed to, Harry, Ron, and Hermione have to form this army called Dumbledore's Army in order to teach themselves. Pretty much like Harry becomes the teacher of this army, has to teach them pretty much everything he's learned in the first 4 years of Hogwarts, because Harry knows there's gonna be a fight coming, which again the Ministry's fucking too blind to see for some reason. And so basically that's pretty much it. Is that Harry, Ron, and Hermione are forming this army because they know there's a fight coming, and then we eventually find out that there's this prophecy that between Harry and Voldemort, which, I mean, the prophecy thing's been done to death already, but that's in the book. I'll let it slide. And also Harry's almost expelled from Hogwarts because he protected his cousin from a Dementor attack when, of course, again, Ministry's stupid. They don't believe him, and so the Ministry's also trying to discredit Harry and Voldemort or Harry and Dumbledore because they want to say Voldemort's return when it's quite fucking obvious he has. But yeah, that's pretty much the plot in a nutshell. Before I can't say any more without saying the Ministry's complete fucking idiots.
All right. Now, Harry Potter and the Order of the Phoenix. I remember owning this movie back in 2007 on DVD, and this was the only Harry Potter movie I had on DVD. But I have to say, Order of the Phoenix, really good 5th film. And I need to get this out of the way right now. I have to call you out. Dolores Umbridge. No disrespect to the actress. The actress is good. Who plays Umbridge. She's really good. But this character is a freaking hurt for everybody. I just wanted to break Umbridge. Just have Harry Potter. I would just, you know what? I'm not going to deal with this. You're not going to slap me in the face. You're not going to make me lie. I must not tell lies. I'm going to kill you.
Yeah, that's she's abusing her power basically.
Yes, and she's supposed to be teaching them. I'm like, go, Stop pushing these kids around with your dumb rules, you dumb mom. I'm sorry.
Yeah, and she's enforcing these policies for no fucking reasons. I'm starting to think she's trying to overthrow Fudge to become minister.
Yes. And also, she's one of the new characters. But also another new character we have Pence and Umbridge. She's played amazingly by Helena Bonham Carter. And when you first see her, that's creepy. But anyways, we'll get to the end of this one. I love how basically this movie, it starts out and it still shows that this franchise is getting more darker, even though you got your usual comedy and just the court case at the beginning was that was cool, and
The court case never took place. But of course, the ministry's complete fucking dicks.
yeah, and then I like what Harry's going through. Can he fight this? He's having these nightmares, and that's just that's very hard to deal with. And the people in Hogwarts, they don't even want to believe it. Even there's a scene during class that Harry's telling him it was murder. Cedric Diggory's death was murder, and Umbridge refused to believe it. I was like, okay, this is not going to go well for Harry. And basically, Umbridge thinks that Cedric Diggory dropped dead of his own accord. I'm like, dude, he's trying to tell you.
Like I said, Josh, the ministry is stupid.
Ministry of Magic, you freaking suck.
Yeah, guys don't fight.
But anyways, I do, and she's having them do these ordinary wizarding level examinations. I'm like, they have not had to do this. But also, I do love Snape.
I think the owls are like the SATs.
Oh yeah.
I think.
And I also love that they gave Snape something to do to help Harry, which all Snape does is have him do this spell, Occlumency, and it shows all these lessons from the previous. Even
I also kind of figure we get to learn Snape's backstory a little bit in this movie.
Yeah, I do like that.
As to why he holds a grudge with Harry is because his father basically picked on him as a kid.
Yeah. And also, the scene that emotions, discipline, and that's real stuff. And also, you don't see Voldemort until the end of this movie. You do see him in a couple of nightmare sequences, and you do get a glimpse of the snake, which that snake is creepy as hell, especially definitely in the beginning, which we will get to. But I think for the screen time, Ralph Fiennes he's really good. And duel with him and Dumbledore, History of Magic. But before I get into that, I do have to talk about when the Centaurs they do go. And when they do get Umbridge, I was like, thank you, goodness.
Yeah, and I love how Umbridge's words basically get thrown back at her when she tells Harry to try and tell the Centaurs she means them no harm, and Harry's like, I'm sorry, but I must tell lies. I was like, fuck yeah.
And I was like, and then what really pissed me off at that moment when she uses spell and costs her one, and she says, Sorcerer. I was like, no, you're not. Because
Yeah, as soon as, but when Harry took the words back, and I was like, fuck yeah.
awesome. But when they go to the Department of Mysteries, I do like that part.
Yeah, I thought that was kind of cool.
And it does lead to a lot when he does get the prophecy where he's saying the Dark Lord should mark him as his equal, but he shall have power the Dark Lord knows not. For neither one can live while the other survives. And I knew that was going to lead.
And with the later movies, we find out what that means.
Yeah. And then we get this awesome fight with Draco's father. When he says, you should know the difference between dreams and reality. I like that line.
Yes, and I do remember quoting that to you several times.
Don't worry about it.
I'm not going to say why, because I don't want to get turned into an argument.
No, we don't need to get argued. And also, I do like, but when the Order of the Phoenix comes to Harry friends,
I'll say this.
Punches,
when we see Bellatrix kill Sirius, that's like an emotional gut punch.
Yeah, that because Harry says in one scene before Dolores comes and gets him and his friends and slaps Harry Potter and tosses the table or not. She needs answers.
No, the reason why here's why it's an emotional gut punch, because Harry's only known him 2 years. You haven't enough time to get to know him as a family member. That's his godfather. So when we see Remus, Lupin basically restrain him, we see Lupin restrain Harry because he's all emotional. We feel for him.
Yeah, I feel bad for him. That's the only family he has left.
Because Sirius was the closest thing he's ever had to a family, or at least a loving family. So when we see Sirius die, and basically Lupin has to restrain Harry in grief, we feel bad for him.
Yeah, that was
basically losing a family member.
Yeah, I would have liked to have heard how his screams, Harry screaming and crying, would sound, but without the screaming and crying, the music is alright. I think if they did keep the sound or him screaming because he lost Sirius, it would have made the scene more sad.
I don't think we need to hear a scream. I think it's pretty much implied.
It's implied.
You don't need to hear him scream. Because it's more visual if we hear him or if we see him heartbroken.
Yeah, I'm like, this guy cannot catch a break when Sirius dies.
Because just everyone who he cares about ends up dying.
Yeah, which will lead to a line in the last movie, which we were talking about soon. But also,
I never will fall to God for me.
With them just using their powers, and Voldemort using the fire dragon, and Dumbledore using the water ball, and
yeah, and if you notice, every time Harry tries to get involved in the fight, Dumbledore basically just pushes him away. It's because he's trying to keep Harry safe, basically. Yeah,
and then just when Voldemort takes both his hands and screams and breaks all the glass, I'm like, oh my gosh. This fight is awesome.
Yeah, and I just really like the scene where Fudge walks in and sees Voldemort. He's like, back. They're like, wow, I was like, wow, you son of a bitch. We could have avoided all this the first time around.
Yeah, I also have one of my teachers. She's a Harry Potter fan in my school. My theater arts teacher. Also, I do love the scene when he's basically on the ground. He can't get up because Voldemort is invading his mind.
Yeah, that's
all these. That's just messed up. And when he seeing all the flashbacks from the previous 4 movies, that was really nice that they added that. And the music by Nicholas Cooper is also really good. And when Harry says you're the weak one, you'll never know love
or friendship.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I think the theaters don't really they're not with Voldemort because they care. They're out of him. They're with him out of fear, not loyalty, really.
Yeah. And then when Voldemort comes to Harry saying you're gonna lose everything, I'm just like, dude, you've been trying to kill this guy ever since the day he was born. You're not gonna kill him. And then, which that does lead to the part where Fudge say he's back. I was like, it's about time. This is what Harry's been trying to tell you, and yet you disown him like that.
Pretty much.
But after that, the whole Umbridge is suspended. Thank you, because I couldn't take no more Umbridge after.
Yeah, but sadly she comes back in Deathly Hallows.
And I kill her in there.
They don't really kill her, they freeze her.
Also, yeah, this one I really do like. And Steve closed, he had other things to do, and Michael Goldenberg stepped in again for him.
Yeah, I kind of wish he would have wrote this one too, but it's fine.
I love the production design.
Mm-hmm.
And I like seeing Harry being a leader. Leading them like this, and that was cool.
I don't mean to interrupt, but fun trivia. Fantastic Beasts 2 will shoot this summer.
Awesome. Can't wait for it.
Me neither.
And also, I do love the moment while they're taking their exam where Fred and George, they just come in and just throw all the fireworks and stuff, and they make the big dragon that tries to eat upgrades. That was fun. And Warwick Davis, which I forgot to talk about him in the first 4. Warwick Davis is really good in these movies. Just Split the Wig and Great Book. And basically, this movie, you have a $150 to $200 million budget. The effects even more better as the series goes along. Industrial Light Magic did help with the effects. And Grok looks really good. Grok looks really good. And overall, Order of the Phoenix is really good. Sure, it does have one character that I very much despise with Venom and Rage, but I still enjoy this movie. And this is the longest book. This is
It's strangely the second longest movie.
Yeah. This movie is only 139 minutes in this theater now. But really cool. I give this movie, once again, I want my small group, John and you guys can give your overall grade.
Yeah, I like the movie. I think it's a lot of fun. It's one of the darkest in this franchise, I think, because I think as they go, they get darker, to be honest. All the kids are getting older and stuff. But yeah, I like the movie. I thought the Ministry and Umbridge were complete dicks. Yeah, Cedric Diggory dropped dead of his own fucking accord. No, I don't think so. Like I said, enjoy this movie. I think it's a lot of fun. If I were to grade this, probably a B, I don't know, somewhere around there. Like a B, A minus, somewhere around there.
Theo, you can give your overall thoughts on Order of the Phoenix. Order of the Phoenix is the 5th one.
Okay. So it's the 5th one from. Hold on, how many Harry Potter movies is there?
There's 8, but since Deathly Hallows is split in 2, I just consider it 7.
Okay. Yeah, there's so
either way, it's different.
There's so many, and honestly, I don't know how you guys remember all of them. The only ones that I remember is the first one, part 2, and a little bit of the one where before part 1.
Apple Prince.
Yeah, Half-Blood Prince.
Alright. Now, get on to Harry Potter and the Half-Blood Prince. Now, the thing about this movie was originally supposed to come out in 2008, but they delayed it to 2009. The movie was finished. I think they just wanted to move the release date to heighten the fans' anticipation. And also because there was other blockbuster movies coming out, which is Dark Knight. And that release date changed. That had a negative reaction, but I thought it was fine. But anyways, we're going to let Sean talk about the plot of this one. Because my plot is going to get really complicated. So, Sean, I'm going to let you do the plot.
Half-Blood Prince follows Harry's 6th year at Hogwarts as he becomes obsessed with a mysterious textbook, falls in love, and attempts to retrieve a memory that holds the key to Voldemort's downfall. Pretty much.
Yeah. Now, I do like that. Where we see Harry with the mysterious textbook, and you see him falling in love with Ginny. I thought that was very nice. And I thought it was fairly obvious that he was going to end up with Ron's sister. I was like, wow. Ron's sister must really like him.
Yeah, I never read the book before this movie, so I was thinking, so he and Hermione are going to end up together, right? Because they've had this closeness throughout the series, but nope, they kind of sidestep it and have it be Ginny he ends up with. I was like, clever misdirection. I like that.
Yeah, and also this is the first movie after Prisoner of Azkaban to be rated PG.
Mm-hmm.
But it's a dark PG, not the PG where everything for kids now.
Where everything is awesome.
Everything is cool in a beautiful world. Everything is awesome.
But anyways, Half-Blood Prince, people say it's their least favorite. But this is one of my favorites. This is an emotionally satisfying film. It's another one of the best ones in this franchise.
Okay, one of the reasons why they delayed the movie was, I think, because of the Writers Guild strike in 2008. Plus, they wanted a more summer release, like a major summer release for 2009.
Hey, I wanted to let you know you're wearing a Spider-Man shirt. This should have been the Spider-Man discussion.
I think I wore a Spider-Man shirt in our discussion.
Anyway, let's continue on. But hold on. So how the heck was Voldemort created?
Like, what do you mean when he was brought back?
Yeah, like how was he created?
Bone of the father, flesh of the servant, and then blood of the enemy.
Okay. That's interesting because I think that Voldemort was with Harry Potter, wasn't he?
Mm. Josh, you still there?
All right. That also, I also like the relationship with Dumbledore and Harry. That was cool. And just the direction in here is really good. Davies, once again, it does good casting. Just you have just also really good acting in this one. It's good acting, impressive acting for the film. Like all the actors in this movie, the acting just it doesn't get any better. I like the score by Nicholas Hooper, especially the opening theme. You can give your thoughts on the movie Shine. I'm eating right now, so
So yeah, Half-Blood Prince. I mean, it's not one of my favorites, but I still enjoy it. I think it's a lot of fun. It's like every other movie in the series. Short version is I love all these movies, but for different reasons. I think they're all fun. I think they're very enjoyable. Uh, the twist of having Snape as the Half-Blood Prince, I really didn't see that coming at all. And this was one of the movies I saw in theaters, and I enjoyed it. Also, a funny story about Horror Inc. I know I'm going backwards, but funny story is that me and my sister went to go see that movie together, Horror Phoenix, because we were like huge fans of Harry Potter, and she got me into the series. And then when I went to get our tickets, I went outside to give her tickets because her ticket she was still getting some out of the car, I think. So when I went in, they sent me to a theater by myself. Like I had the whole auditorium by myself, and my sister went in with a crowd. And then by the end of the movie, she was trying to look for me, and I walked out of the alone theater, and she's like, "Where were you?" I was like, "I went to the movie." She's like, "You weren't in the theater?" I was like, "Yeah, I had I had a whole theater by myself." And then she just cracked up laughing. So yeah, that was funny. But yeah, as far as Half-Blood Prince, I enjoyed the movie. I think it's a lot of fun. Like the other
Yeah.
ones, set designs are. I like our set designs. The score, I think, is great.
I like.
It really sucks seeing Dumbledore die in this movie, but it is
Yeah.
what it is.
Honestly, to be honest with you, they should have not killed him. They should have let him be
Well,
for part
in the book,
one and part two.
he does die in the book,
Okay.
and I kind of felt bad for Harry because he had to actually shove that water into Dumbledore's mouth, and he didn't want to do it, but he was following Dumbledore's orders. But it still hurt. It still was hurt. It was still painful to watch him do it.
Yeah.
when after Dumbledore dies, everyone joins up their minds, and Ginny is comforting him. I'm like, wow, this guy, we can I thought the scene with them raising the wands that was really good shot. The twist was making half my friends. I haven't read the book. I already knew that it was going to be half my friends. Well, yes, it was on the first now we don't get to see his girl. They have to cut it out. It's understandable. I do like the ending of this movie because it does get ready for what's coming next. They just I do have to say that they do have the comedy with this author. And you are introduced to Narcissus Malfoy. Draco. You only want to know what you based on. You know, if you get to George, they start doing this work. Being where but I do have one problem with the camera. You need to ask me where the house gets where footprints. Those six movies should do. Get you ready for upcoming that. It doesn't try so hard to be of doing that. He's ready for that. And it's not cast around. Like another movie, I would definitely give this one an A+. Yeah. Ratings stands on this one. I didn't get much. I'm pretty sure it's not about some of those things I didn't get much of. I'm gonna go ahead and I can fix my sound.
At the same time.
No, okay, you can let that.
What is
Don't
that?
do that.
No, sorry, it's Cara Delevingne.
Don't do that.
Yeah.
Never mind, keep going.
Bad, just bad. Okay, Suicide Squad. But yeah, basically the plot of this movie though is Harry, Ron, and Hermione decide not to go back to Hogwarts because they are going around to trying to find all the Horcruxes and destroy them so they can destroy Voldemort. And that's pretty much the plot of the movie right there.
Also, this part.
When did this movie come out?
2010.
Okay.
Same year Twilight Saga Eclipse and the Elm Street remake, which a lot of people hate, but me and Sean enjoy that remake.
Yeah.
Now, Sean is going to give his thoughts on the movie first.
Yeah.
Okay. I like this movie.
Things.
What? Okay. I like this movie. I really do. This, I would have to say, is my least favorite in this franchise. Or at least the first least favorite of the Harry Potter movies. And that's because there's one element missing.
You're not at the school.
Yes. For me, the school
is.
Okay, listen. Before you jump down my throat, listen. For me, the school always felt like a huge part of this series and a huge part of the story. So by them not going to the school, it feels like we're losing a huge chunk of this story. I still enjoyed the movie overall, but it didn't feel like a Harry Potter movie at times that we didn't go to school. So it just feels a little different to me. But I still enjoy it though. I mean, the minute she's taking over now, has been taken over by the Death Eaters. Voldemort's now gaining power, trying to start this new war and everything. And so it's still a fun movie. Like the actors are so good, the set designs are great. The music by Alexander Desplat, I think I pronounced the name. I'm sorry if I butchered that. I butchered it all the time. So the music's great, the actors are great, set designs are great, and we actually get to see Victor in this movie, who is Bill Nye in real life. And no, not Bill Nye. And no, not Bill Nye the Science Guy. Bill Nye, as in Pirates of the Caribbean, Underworld, Total Recall, other movies I can't think of that he's been in. Yeah, and so in this actually, the last movie we actually see the Dursleys in. Thank fucking God, those characters are horrible. But yeah. And okay, as I said earlier about Chamber of Secrets and why I wish Dumbledore or Dobby was in this movie more, in the series more. Because at the end of this movie, he basically dies trying to save Harry and everybody else from Malfoy Manor. And as much as it's sad to see him go, that scene would have more of an emotional gut punch had we got to see Dobby throughout this franchise, like he originally was in the books. But since they cut him out of this series, that scene doesn't resonate as much as it should be, as much as it should, had he been throughout the series. That's, I guess, another nitpick I have of this movie is that Dobby's death, while sad as it is, it doesn't have that emotional gut punch as I believe it should because Dobby was written out for the most of the series.
Dobby's death. Yeah, he may not have been in these movies a whole lot. And it's me saying that he bury him without magic. I was like, don't tell me. And they do it. They do bury him without magic.
Mm-hmm.
And then basically you get this amazing cliffhanger ending with Voldemort just taking the wand.
Yes, but the wand doesn't obey him though.
Yeah. I do love the chase music, the chase in the forest. I do like that part. The only thing that sucks is that there's no music, but it's good. But I have fun. This is one thing I did watch the trailer and they did show it, but it didn't ruin it too badly. But that meaning you're watching at the end, this is like the best of friends. He's the best of friends, and they've been friends for a long time. Almost like a brothers. And them arguing, that's hard to watch. That's watching when Ron is saying, he's saying all this stuff because he's basically with a heart every day. And Harry says, you think I don't know how this feels? And Ron says, you don't know how it feels. No parents are dead.
Yeah, and in all fairness, Ron would not have been saying that had he been wearing that necklace all the whole time.
Yeah, that's what Hermione said. You wouldn't be saying that.
Because it's true, he wouldn't have been saying any of that if he didn't have been wearing the necklace. That's true.
But when he's saying, and there you have it, and I'm like, okay, that's that's a thing that makes me talk about him. Like, you do a good but also a really cool moment in the movie was when Ron comes back because we all know he's not going to leave the die. And when they put the locket, it opens and you get basically Harry and Hermione, they're evil. You know, the Horcruxes lying to Ron, and you see Harry and Hermione kiss. I have to admit, that moment kind of feels a little weird. When you see Harry and Hermione kiss in the locker when they open the necklace.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that could not have been easy for Dan and Emma to do that scene because they've even said in interviews that they've been like siblings to each other. So I'm pretty sure that moment felt a little incesty to them.
Yeah. They did for the market. I did. That was how and sadly, Maurice comes back, but it's only a small part.
Thank God it's like small part.
And like all the stuff. Right. And I have to admit that Doctor Brown is mad because she really likes Hermione. I don't know what. Either she's fighting her or just pushing her with the line. But that was just, I felt bad for Hermione. And this movie really got things for everything supposed to be there most of the time. And that's what feels now. I think they still got him off. Good. They brought it on their A game. Even for them most of the time. Because not only you have Dobby dying, you also have Professor Moody dying. Not to mention Hedwig. That was so messed up. I'll tell you how more about Alexandra Black, who composed the music for the Twilight Saga New Moon. My favorite theme of this movie soundtrack is Snape to Malfoy Manor, because it kind of sounds like it's a rock song, but it's kind of not. Basically, it's a war song, because you have the whole. I don't know what it is about this song, Snape to Malfoy Manor, but every time I listen to it, I just, you know what I'm trying to say. Well, I do have to admit, at the beginning, this composition in Malfoy Manor, with him killing one of them from Voldemort killing one of them from Hogwarts, Snape not even trying to help her. I was like, okay, this guy is he's gone mad, and he kills the teacher from Hogwarts. And Draco is crying. I'm like, now you want to cry, Draco. Now you want to cry. And then when the snake goes under the table and bites him, and when he opens his mouth, and then like he's about to come out right on my TV screen, so I did jump the first time I watched it. But the cliffhanger ending goes, really, really gets you ready for it. It can come out a couple months after this. I do like the little story that Hermione tells when they go to meet Luna Lovegood's father. Luna Lovegood, Lana Lynn's as Luna. Yeah. Overall, definitely Hallows Part 1. It's one of my least favorites, but it's not because they're not too cool. But I still, yeah, they may not be at the school, but if you read the book, you probably know that they're not going to be at the school. Yeah. And yeah, I guess this is Hallows 1 A+. Very underrated in this franchise. This is the one that gets a little bit of hate. So, your overall thoughts. Alright? You can go. It's your turn, Sean. You can give your overall thoughts.
I think I already did, dude.
Oh. Theo, you can give your thoughts on definitely.
Well, I think, part 1 is the start, the journey of the end of Harry Potter, and fans were emotional and stuff like that, but I'd give it a solid A. I think it was a good start.
Alright. So, now we move on to Harry Potter and definitely Hallows Part 2. The 8th artist from the Harry Potter released in 2011. Now this one is definitely the one we're about to talk about. So we start off basically with a recap of what happened at the end of Deathly Hallows Part 1. And that's all I'm going to go from there because I'm going to let Sean explain the rest of the story of this movie.
Okay, so Deathly Hallows Part 2 is basically just Harry and Ron and Hermione looking for us the Horcruxes, and they realize that one of them is at Hogwarts, so they have to go there. But oh no, going there starts a whole war because Voldemort's trying to find Harry. So we basically the battle for Hogwarts, and it's a great battle. I'd say it's probably I would
Really
probably put it in the same realm as one of the Middle Earth battles, which I think is fucking awesome. And they do have some of the returning students from the earlier movies. Like we get to see Oliver Wood for about a minute or so from the first two movies. But yeah, this whole movie is basically just about Harry, Ron, and Hermione trying to find the rest of the Horcruxes in order to stop Voldemort once and for all, really. And we get this big battle for Hogwarts and the Wizarding World.
a really good battle. Yeah.
The movie is basically the final battle.
Pretty much.
Now,
Final showdown.
when you're watching both Deathly Hallows Part 1 and 2, they were shot as one movie, but they were released as two movies. But watching both of these parts together is basically a 4-hour and 36-minute long.
Pretty much.
And Deathly Hallows Part 2, I remember watching this, and I remember I was a little sad because it was the last one.
So of course, we spent 10 years with these characters.
Yeah.
But I knew it was worth the wait. It was going to be something worth the wait. And just, this is the first film in the franchise to get $1 billion. It's like Return of the King.
And I actually read that the fight between Harry and Voldemort was actually expanded in the movie because in the book, it only takes place in the Great Hall. With the movie, they wanted to expand on it because they were like, well, fans have been waiting for this fight for 10 years. They better make it worth the wait. And boy, did they make it worth it.
But I don't know. With all these Facebook rumors, the characters are coming back for another movie.
Eh?
Like I heard that Emma Watson is willing to come back.
But that part of the story's ended.
I know. It doesn't make.
I mean, unless they're going to be playing
like a stupid
characters in the Fantastic Beasts movies, then that's a whole different issue. But the Harry Potter side of the story is done now.
Yeah. Why would they go back? You know.
I don't know what's worse, WB or Disney. For cash sucking.
That's basically a rumor about the Cursed Child movie. I don't think that's going to happen.
Honestly, I don't even really want it to be. Because based on what I've heard
I can't say that Warner Bros. And Disney are worse because Fox is worse. Sorry.
Anyway, Deathly Hallows Part 2.
Yeah, Deathly Hallows Part 2, freaking great.
Mm-hmm.
And just this one, I thought Harry was really badass, especially when he's back at the school when he says, "How dare you stand where he stood?"
Yeah.
Tell him how it happened that night. Tell him how you looked Dumbledore in the eye. Basically, what he's saying is, tell him how you looked Dumbledore in the eye, a man who trusted you and killed him.
Well, because Harry didn't know that he and Dumbledore planned it.
Yeah, and that was before we actually seen the visions. And when Voldemort and his crew show up, boom. A whole lot of destruction, a whole lot of dying, a whole lot of action just starts. Chaos.
Mhm.
It's like Joker said in the Dark Knight. Everyone, look at their minds.
Please don't do that.
And when the action is there, I was just sitting there watching the action and just I was enjoying it. I was enjoying it. And then I did like the part when Ginny kisses Harry. That was cool. And then Neville also gets his time to shine. It's not just Harry, Hermione, or Ron's movie. It's basically everyone's movie. I think all the characters get their time to shine for the last one. And Voldemort, when he tries to use the Elder Wand, it doesn't work on him because boom.
And we find out why, because when Malfoy disarmed Harry, or disarmed Dumbledore in Half-Blood Prince, the allegiance of the wand transferred to Malfoy, and then when Harry disarmed Malfoy in Malfoy Manor in Part 1, the wand switched allegiance over to Harry.
Yep. And cool seeing all the characters that we've grown up with for 10 years.
Yeah,
Fighting off, even though taunting Eudorus and losses, Nymphadora,
is going to be.
Lupin dies, one of Weasley brothers die.
Yeah, and
just, I felt
and
when that.
But yeah, that scene where Harry's basically using the resurrection stone to talk to his parents, Sirius and Remus. That scene about choked me up when I saw that movie.
I almost cried when that happened.
I know, I got choked up watching that scene.
And then the line where he says, "I never wanted any of y'all die for me." I'm like, wow. This is about as close to emotional as you gonna get. Because, and then when they burned the building the room in the Hogwarts with all the books, and then the Ron is mad because they have to go save Draco. I did like that, right?
Yeah. Okay. There's one line in this movie that doesn't really make sense, but I think it's funny, which why I let it slip by. Where Ron's like, "You died for them, Harry. I'm gonna kill you." Well, how can you kill him if you're already dead?
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah. How can you?
Sense, but it's still fun. That's why I just let it slip by because it's still funny.
Yeah, and I also like that Snape's story comes full circle.
Pretty much,
and why Snape is how he is. And we get more about Harry, more about Dumbledore. That the more we get with Harry, is that a part of Voldemort lives inside him, and you see all these.
And that's what makes that line with that prophecy make sense, because where it says neither can live while the other survives, because if they were to destroy every Horcrux except for the one that we find out that Harry's himself, if Harry were to die, it would kill Voldemort. That's what that line, live while the other survives, makes sense.
And I just love how just basically we see the relationship with Snape and Harry's mom before James and her married. When you get to those moments of seeing Snape die was probably the hardest thing to watch in this movie. I was like, oh my god.
Well, you gotta think, man, these are characters we've loved for 10 years, and we've grown attached to them. So seeing them die, hurtful.
And Voldemort,
because I remember,
Snape, like, wow.
I remember when I first watched X-Men: Days of Future Past, when they were killing off all the X-Men. I remember crying because these are characters I've grown attached to for 14 years, and now seeing them killed off is really saddening.
Yeah, just like earlier this month, And just when the line comes over, Snape says you have your mom's eyes. When he looks into Harry's eyes, I'm like, okay.
Yeah, that's been a thing throughout the series that he looks like James, but he has his mother's eyes.
Mm-hmm. And again, when you get to the moments with Snape going into the Potter house and Harry getting scarred and his mom killed, and that those whole chain of events, that's really good. That we saw, they waited say that for the last movie, and also the scene with Dumbledore and Snape planning out that Snape has to be the one to kill him. That was really cool. But you do get Dumbledore's farewell scene played in this movie, and I do like that part. And the part where they're going to get Gripper tries to get them to go in Bellatrix's vault and get one of the Horcruxes, and then he just leaves them in there all multiple things multiplying. And I say I get you in. I didn't say anything about getting you out. Oh my god. You.
Yeah, he played for
And just,
when Voldemort killed him.
yep. And also just that moment with Snape and Dumbledore talking about Snape killing Dumbledore, I was like, okay. That fills a gap in Half Blood Prince.
What?
When Snape and Dumbledore talk about how he's going who
Yeah, that fills in that, I guess, plot hole, if you want to say.
and
How
then Snape
Dumbledore, both Snape, plan out Dumbledore's death.
and then Snape is breaking down and crying over Lily.
Because we find out he was actually in love with her the whole time. And that's why, for the most part, he's cared for Harry, even though he's hated him this whole time.
Yeah. And then also when you get the scene with Harry and Dumbledore when Voldemort thinks he's killed Harry but didn't. I do like that moment.
Mm-hmm.
And then when Voldemort's team goes to school the next day and you see Hagrid holding Harry, he is basically cared for.
Yeah, because Hagrid's basically cared for Harry his whole life, really.
Yeah. And that scene with him holding him, that reminds me of Sam holding Frodo Return to King, except they're not on Volcano Planet. And then Voldemort saying Harry Potter is dead. I was like, really? Really? You think you killed Harry Potter?
He thought Harry was really dead.
And then when
I did. I thought
it was an incredible speech saying that all the people that they've died for, and then
that they didn't die for they didn't die for nothing.
Yeah, he didn't die in vain, but you will. Because Voldemort's wrong. And then when Harry wakes back up, the fight continues back on. And then so
I love that scene when Neville's trying to grab the sword to kill the snake, but then Harry just pops right up. I loved that scene. I thought that was awesome. When Harry's like,
and then,
I'm not dead, bitch.
And Voldemort just right back up. Voldemort's trying to and then you get the fight with him and Voldemort. Then you also get the fight with also at the same time you get Hermione, Ron, and Neville trying to kill Snape. I mean the snake.
Yeah, and then Neville kills the snake with the sword.
And then also you have Ron's mom fighting Bellatrix.
Oh, that was awesome.
When I first saw that moment, my daughter
say the word bitch. That was funny.
I was shocked. And then
that was funny.
Then when Harry and Voldemort talking what they're getting. That so that I saw that in the TV ad one time, and I was like, "Whoa!"
Yeah, I
Really,
think got a line out from this movie that was in the trailers. I don't
yeah,
remember what
I
it was.
do. Yeah, why do you
Yeah,
live?
I
And
don't know
then
why movies people do that. What's the point of putting it in the trailer? Like, what's the point of putting it in the trailer if you're going to cut it out of the movie? That's complete bullshit.
I think they should have just kept that in because that would have made the scene more badass. And then when Fury says, "Come on, Tom, let's finish this the way we started," and they just grab us together, and then they jump off the balcony. I was like, "Oh my god!" Is that when they're just flying on the couch and then boom,
Yeah, I think probably the best part of this movie is that final battle between Harry and Voldemort. They expanded that fight because they wanted to make it worth that 10 years of wait. And I think it worked.
I was very happy that they expanded it because the book, the fight is it's quick, it's done and over with.
It's like a quick fight within the Great Hall, and they just expanded on it, and I thought it was great.
Yeah.
It was worth that 10 years of wait.
Yeah, it was worth 10 years worth seeing, and for people who went to go see it in IMAX 3D, it must have looked really good in IMAX.
Yeah, I didn't see part 2 in theaters. I saw like later, I think, when it came out in DVD.
And then when Harry and Voldemort their wands, his shines blue, Harry shines red, and
because
they're just like
Voldemort trying to use the killing cards, and Harry just trying to disarm him.
Yeah, disarm. I do like that, and when they do kill Snake, I was like, wow, yes. Now they can kill him. And then when the epic music playing, he just boom, knocks out Voldemort, and then he catches up and grabs out like, woo!
And then Voldemort just, I guess, falls apart.
He disintegrates, yes.
Yeah.
And I was like, you did it. And then the scene when Ron, Hermione, and Harry, they're talking.
Yeah, and
that was really cool.
In the book, the thing that happens to the Elder Wand is that Harry basically he doesn't want the power of the other wands, but he uses the Elder Wand to fix his old wand, and then he just leaves the Elder Wand in Dumbledore's office. But with the movie, instead, he just breaks it and throws it down off a cliff.
Yeah, he throws it down. And just when you get to the final, and then you get the shot of all three of them just standing there as the camera zooms out in face black.
Mm-hmm.
And left
the 19 years later thing.
Yeah, and the 19 years later thing, that left a huge. I thought.
I actually read they actually reshot that ending.
Okay.
Yeah.
That was actually part of the reason.
And they have rating this movie with the MPAA. They have trouble rating this movie in between PG-13 and R-rated.
Well, you got to the battle
character deaths.
Mm-hmm. Huh? You got to figure it's the battle of Hogwarts.
And the 19 years later scene, I love that scene. That's my favorite scene of the book.
Mm.
And seeing all them married, Harry's married to Ginny, Ron and Hermione are married.
Mm-hmm.
That's really cool. And then Harry talking to his son, saying he was named after two headmasters of Hogwarts, and saying he can choose Gryffindor and Slytherin. I could take your choice into your personal account, and then
and in the book, I read that when Harry says that to his son that the Sorting Hat takes your choice into account, and then the son asks, "How do you know?" And Harry's like, "They did with me," but they cut that part out of the movie. Those last bits of dialogue were cut out of the movie.
And just when the train leaves and it zooms in on Harry or on Hermione out, I felt complete.
Yep.
I was crying after watching it. And so after watching it first time, I had to watch Transformers Dark of the Moon for X-Men First Class just to just to get me stopped crying. And just and what this series shows that the characters they grow, they mature, and this I was like, that is how you end a franchise. That's how you wrap up 8-movie long story arc. And like, Hogwarts is definitely something that was 10 years worth of, and it was satisfying for me to see our main characters who's growing and growing.
Right.
And
Sure,
and just give them the credit, the proper respect send off they did.
What's your thoughts on Fantastic Beasts?
We will talk about Fantastic Beasts. But yeah, overall, definitely Hallows Part 2. Great movie, great performances, great score.
Great ending.
Great ending to the original Harry Potter series, and nothing is left open-ended. You're actually doing something nice, right? And I give this one an A+ as well. So, Sean, what's your grade?
Well, since I see this and part one is a movie, I'll grade them together. I'd give it a B, like a B minus. A B.
What?
Well, I'd grade them as one movie because I see it as one movie.
Oh yeah, it's true.
Because I see both parts of Deathly Hallows as a single movie.
Yeah, that is true.
That's how I am with most two-part films.
Yeah, I'd probably give it a A+. It was good ending.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And it's a shame that this Deathly Hallows Part 2 didn't get anything Oscar related.
I'm not gonna lie to you guys now that we're talking about it, I kind of miss Harry Potter.
Again, FU motion picture arts and sciences. Now we get on to the prequel. The first out of 5 movies. J.K. Rowling's Wizard of the World franchise.
Yeah, let's start with that. Why 5 movies?
Well, Rowling, she loves her franchise. She can do what she wants. If she probably wants to do 5 movies. Maybe because of the
3 movies. Yeah. Now I know people about when they extended Hobbit from 2 movies to 3. I feel their fake pain. Because mine is real pain.
But yeah. But with Fantastic Beasts, this being 5 movies, I'm hoping for the best. So anyways, let's talk about Fantastic Beasts and where to find them. Now, this movie came out last year. I was very excited for it because it was the first Harry Potter movie since Deathly Hallows Part 2. And I remember watching the MTV Movie Awards last year, and they showed a trailer for it. I was like, oh my gosh, new Harry Potter movie. And also, this once again directed by David Yates, but he directed another movie before this. He directed Legend of Tarzan, which came out the same year as Fantastic Beasts. But anyways, the basic plot is we follow a new character named Newt Scamander, played amazingly by Academy Award winner Eddie Redmayne.
Yes.
And Sean is going to explain the rest of the plot to us.
Okay. So, it takes place in 1926. So, we are not in English, we're now in America, which we now have all these new weird words like nomad, Makuza, and all these other words I don't give a crap about. So basically, Newt Scamander is the main character. He arrives in New York, in 1926 New York, because he's trying to find an animal there that he can write this book called, Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them. Roll credits. Screen Junkies. Anyway, so he gets caught up in this thing about how the magical company is trying to keep themselves secret. The nomad, fucking, I'm calling them the Muggles. So the Muggles don't find out about them, and also that they have this dark wizard around called Gilderoy or Gillett Grindelwald, played by Johnny Depp, who makes a cameo in the movie. And so basically that's, and also there's a subplot there's two subplots in the movie. One is where this woman who's raising these adopted kids is trying to get this rally against the wizarding community because we got to put an X-Men reference in this movie somehow. That's what it felt like. And then there's this other subplot between Farrell and Miller, where they're trying to find this Obscurus, which that just felt like a sequel bait. But all in all, I enjoyed the movie pretty much.
Yeah, me, I did give this movie an A+ when we did our spoiler discussion, and I still stand by the A+ rating. But I love this movie. It was great. I thought this was a better prequel than The Hobbit.
Hey,
I'm not bashing The Hobbit. Okay, I'm not bashing The Hobbit. The Hobbit is a great trilogy. Don't get me wrong.
good boy.
I just feel like that this is a much better prequel.
I don't know, man. But I respect your opinion.
And this movie took me back to J.K. Rowling's Wizarding World.
And this is actually written by Rowling herself.
Mm-hmm.
Which, I mean, I like the movie, but she should just stick to writing books.
Wow.
I'm not trying to say this movie's poorly written, but I just think she's a better book writer than a script writer.
We should try.
Only because I didn't like the two subplots in this movie. I just thought they were completely pointless.
And I did like the acting in this movie. Eddie Redmayne was really good as Luke.
Yes, he's improved from Jupiter Ascending. I heard he was bad in that movie.
I liked him in Jupiter Ascending. I liked him in The Fear of Everything.
I heard he sucked in Jupiter Ascending.
He was bad in Jupiter Ascending. He was good in The Theory of Everything. He was good in The Danish Girl.
Yeah, I liked him in Theory of Everything as Stephen Hawking. And Colin Farrell in here, I liked him as the villain. He's an underrated actor.
Yes, and this is the second time he and Depp have shared a role together.
And I love Ezra Miller in here. I can't wait to see what he brings to the Flash. This year. And just like all the other characters, the creatures are very well handled, especially after not seeing the Wizarding World J.K. Rowling since 2011. The beasts have never looked better. The productions I like that the setting is not in England; it's in New York in 1920s.
I don't. I mean, the time period's fine, but I'd rather we just go in England because of the names I'm familiar with, like Muggle, Minister, and all that stuff. This nomad stuff is like.
Maybe in your sequels. Maybe in these sequels are probably going to happen. And I do like
Nomad, or like, wait, what the fuck's the Nomad?
It has action, but it's not a fully fledged action movie, which I appreciate it. There are some character development. I love the music by James Newton Howard. Really good. Really great. Love his score for Batman Begins and Dark Knight.
and even did the score for Green Lantern.
That was the only thing besides Ron Reynolds I could tolerate in that piece of garbage. It sucked. Green Lantern sucked.
That's what you say, dude.
But I respect you for liking it.
Thank you.
You're welcome. But anyway, they did. I like that they played the John Williams Harry Potter theme, but it's only brief.
Seconds.
Yeah, it's only brief, which was kind of a letdown, but
Exactly.
But
What the fuck?
it was still. I get it. It's a new series, and you can't play the classic throughout the whole movie.
I
But
know.
it was still.
I mean, at least with most prequels, they don't tease you with the old music.
Like Phantom Menace.
Fucking cocksucker.
Oh. And also, I do like the action. There is some action in here, but no,
It's not a lot. It's more centered around the story and the character development, which
that's why I like the movie that.
But the one thing I would say that makes it lower than Harry Potter movies is because with the Harry Potter movies, we have Harry who was pretty much raised by muggles, and he's kind of this fish out of water entering into the wizarding world. We don't really have that with this movie, aside from Jacob Kowalski's character, but he's not the main character. So we don't have that element in this franchise, in this movie, which is kind of why I think this movie is lesser than the Harry Potter films, is because of that element.
I put this higher.
Well, that's fine. I'm just saying is that we don't have that element we have with the Harry Potter movies, where we have this essentially fish out of water character.
And yeah, I love that this movie focused on the story first, then the action.
Yes.
I like the character. I don't like one character, but I do like the one creature. He's one creature. He was very cool, and I guess you could say duel between Newt and Kowalski was also really cool. And just I was having a lot of fun watching this first time in back last year. I had a smile on my face. I could not control my smiling because I was too pumped easily. And yeah, November last year, you have some good movies I saw. Strange nearly didn't become one of them, but I do feel bad for giving that a little bit. I do feel a little bad for it. I'm not apologizing for it. But anyways, Fantastic Beasts were fine. If there's one thing I can complain about, but it won't grade a little bit, is I do have to complain that there's one thing there's one character I didn't like. I do wish she kind of went away, but I don't know. I guess I can get over it.
What character is this?
It's the one girl that when they're at the apartment, she's the sister of the other girl character.
Yeah, another reason why I didn't like the whole Little Salem's subplot thing is because, okay, that adoptive mother is fucking abusive. It's like, okay, you do know this is the first movie in a new series, so why are we shoving into the darkness already?
Yeah.
It's like, this is a new film and a new franchise. Let's go back to the lighter tone. But no, it's like headlong into the darkness.
It's are lighthearted, but this movie is pretty much dark. darker film, but it does have its lighthearted moments.
Yeah, but not a lot of them apparently.
Yeah, because the movie is PG-13, so. And also, again, Ezra Miller's character is really good. I did love the ending of this movie with that awesome cameo by Johnny Depp.
Yeah.
Love it. And I liked his cameo so much that I'm absolutely looking forward to seeing what they're going to do with him, because he needs to be in something other than Jack Sparrow. Not hating on you, Johnny Depp, I'm just saying. But
Speaking of Jack Sparrow, God, I hope Dead Man Tell No Tales is good. I want that movie to be good.
also, yeah. But overall, I will say this. Despite my one flaw I have with this movie, I still enjoy it. Still love the film. I still go by the same grade. It's still, I'm not changing my grade. But yeah, basically you just gave your grade. You haven't choose. If you haven't, you can give your grade.
Okay. I like this movie. I'll buy it on Blu-ray if I can. I mean, outside of the two subplots I thought were unnecessary and the abusive adoptive mother, overall, this dark tone overall, I still like the movie. It's not as good as any of the Harry Potter movies, but it's still enjoyable. I'll give it C plus, B minus. I mean, still, it's a good grade, but it's still a fun movie. I wish they would have went back to the lighter tone like Sorcerer Stone was, because this is the first movie in a new franchise.
Fun fact: Fantastic Beasts and Why Him come out on Blu-ray the same date.
I know, I've heard.
Really?
I'm on Blu-ray. That movie's a fucking hilarious. Fuck the critic.
When are they coming out?
March 28th.
Okay.
Fuck
It doesn't have, says they're gonna add an R-rated, an unrated cut for Why Him. But anyway,
Yes.
I'm surprised they haven't. I don't think there is an unrated cut. I'm just saying, I'm surprised they haven't announced that we'll make an unrated.
God, I hope there's one.
Yeah, me too. But yeah, as for the future of Fantastic Beasts,
I just hope these next ones are good.
do not destroy, do not mess with my child, interfere with my childhood franchise. I dare you to mess with my childhood.
Dude, one of my favorite childhood franchises already kicked me in the balls.
Toy Story.
No. Spy Kids.
All right.
The Mask. Those two movies, those two got kicked me in the balls already.
Now you know how I feel about the Amazing Spider-Man. That movie whooped me. But anyways, Fantastic Beasts World Fighting 2. I'm kind of, well, I don't know what they should call the other ones.
Neither do I.
They should call them.
I'm still figure it out though.
Yeah, David Yates, you keep on bringing your A game for this new franchise, and you at least get Steve Kloves back for co-script writer. But anyways, yeah, I'm going to rank now. We're going to. Theo, what are your thoughts on Fantastic Beasts?
I personally think it was, it's a good beginning, but I feel like it was really strong, but it was good to see characters. It was good to see Eddie Mayer. Frank, I can't say his last name. Eddie
Redmayne?
on, yeah, thank you, Redmayne on screen. And it was just a fun time. I look forward for the sequels and more to come, and seeing Johnny on screen too.
And I think I read Dumbledore might become a main character.
That'd be awesome. But I'd probably give it a solid B.
As far as I rate this franchise, Harry Potter and Chamber of Secrets, definitely Hallows Part 1, Fantastic Beasts at number 7, definitely Hallows Part 2 and number 6, number 5, Order of the Phoenix, number 4, Half-Blood Prince, number 3, Philosopher's Stone or Sorcerer's Stone, number 2, Goblet of Fire, and my number 1 favorite is Prisoner of Azkaban. That's my ranking.
9 is Fantastic Beasts. 8 is Deathly Hallows Part 1. 7, I'd probably say Half-Blood Prince, I think. I don't know. This ranking might change later. 6 would be, I want to say Order of Phoenix. 5 would be Goblet of Fire. 4 would be 9 Fantastic Beasts. 10 or 8 Half-Blood Part 1. 7 is Half-Blood Prince. 6 is Order of Phoenix. 5 is Goblet of Fire. 4. I swear I'm missing one. I think I'm missing one. Oh yeah. That was part 2. That's what I'm missing. But yeah, where was I at? Yeah. Oh yeah, Goblet of Fire was 5. 4 is Sorcerer's Stone. 3 is Chamber of Secrets. 2 is Deathly Hallows Part 1, or 2 is Deathly Hallows Part 2, and then probably number 1 is Prisoner of Azkaban.
If it got Goblet of Fire,
For me, because there's so many, I'm just gonna go right now off the head. Top 3: Half-Blood Prince, Part 1 and Part 2. Actually, no, not even Half-Blood Prince. I'd go for the first Harry Potter. But, yeah.
that was our retrospective on the J.K. Rowling Wizarding World. Let us know what you think of this franchise down below. Do you like it? Do you not like it? Stay tuned. Tomorrow, Sean and I are going to talk about Fuller House. Season 1 is season 2. I have finished it. So we're going to do Fuller House tomorrow afternoon, where you can find you guys.
Find me on YouTube, Better to the 591. The links to my Facebook, Twitter, and Google accounts are all on there.
Okay, Theo, where can we find you?
Thank you. Follow me on Twitter. I have Twitter, I have Instagram and Facebook, and I'm also on YouTube at Theo's Movie Reviews. But yeah, before I say the last goodbye, I just want to say I had a great time tonight, guys. And guys, if you're watching, please go and subscribe to these two awesome people. Do it. You won't regret it.
Yeah. The links to my stuff are all on my channel. And if you like this video, you can click here. We can all have a good time. And I will see you guys when I reunite once again with Sean tomorrow when we talk about Fuller House.
Mm.
Bye.
Bye bye.